Our public space is male. Just think when you're walking around the streets, how the stares of men looking at you when you're going to the supermarket, when you're going to the metro, and this silent pressure that makes you change sidewalks sometimes, or just even lower your gaze. You can see it as well in the man spreading, right? On the fact that males tend to occupy more space. They tend to spread much more and sometimes even invade the physical space of others. And that can be at the movies, that can be in the metro, but just a way of using the public space. This is also because the fact that in urbanism, in architecture, in design, we also have less women, not enough women at least, to design cities with the women in mind. We can see this in different ways. For example, our urban equipment in France, or leisure urban equipment, is designed at 75% for young boys. And young girls don't feel comfortable over there. It can also be small, symbolic, and yet very important signs, like the street naming. In Paris, only 2% of the streets are named after women, and 3% of the metro stations. Just imagine. So wherever you look around you in a city, you don't see women represented and celebrated. This is also the case of different signs, like just the public bathroom. Public bathroom, have you ever seen many public bathrooms with a changing room for men in the men's toilet? No, usually the changing room is always in the female toilet. And then we have so long lines, right? Just the idea that when we design these infrastructures, we don't think that women need to use public bathroom much more often than men, because we menstruate, because we breastfeed, because we are pregnant, or just because we have tighter clothes by social norms. And yet, there is no human-centered design thinking that we might need a higher number of public bathrooms. So all these are just small signs that our cities are not designed for women. So how can we reoccupy the public space? Well, there are different initiatives around the world. For example, in Bombay, in India, there's the initiative called Why Loiter? Because, again, men are loitering and hanging out in different public spaces, but women don't. It's not okay. So Why Loiter brings women and girls in public spaces, and they take pictures of themselves and they try to reappropriate themselves public spaces. They do the same in Pakistan. It's called Girls at Dabas, and Dabas being small street tea shops. And the idea is the same, is to go in these male-dominated areas and say, okay, we can be comfortable here too. It happens in France, in Aubervilliers, it happens in Tunisia as well. Many women are trying to reoccupy these males' cafes. Another sign of this is transportation. You might have seen in different cities all around the world, you have different wagons and different spaces in metros or trains or buses just for women, so that they feel safe and they feel comfortable. There are even she taxis, no, or different brands of taxis only run by women, driven by women for women. And some complain about it, saying that, okay, it's better, but yet segregation is not the solution. Segregation is just a band-aid. But at least it's something that is moving. But I guess that finally what is extremely important is that we design cities with more women in mind. That's, for example, what the city of Vienna did in Austria. They've been really pioneer in this idea of gender mainstreaming in urbanism and architecture. In the 90s, they asked different citizens, women and men, how they were using the city, which kind of routes they were taking, which transport, where they were going. And they realized that men and women had really completely different needs. So they designed the city differently. They used more lights, they widened the sidewalks, they designed transportation routes which could fit women's needs. They had more places to breastfeed, more places like garderies for kids, safer transportation, safer environments and cities. And they even did some gender budgeting, trying to track the amount of the budget which was actually going towards their citizens, would they be male or female. So these initiatives are actually shifting the balance in urbanism as well. And the idea is that hopefully with more and more female city mayors, like in Paris, in Madrid, or in Barcelona, we would finally design cities which are safe and comfortable both for men and women.